Look, I mean, I started this because, without bringing everybody down, 19 innocent men, women, and children were slaughtered by a drug cartel in a town not far from where I live. That was 1998. And at that point in time, I had no knowledge of or interest in drug trafficking. I was writing private eye stories and mob stories and surfers, but I wanted to know how that could happen. And I started researching it, and the more I researched it, the angrier I got. So I wrote this book called The Power of the Dog, and then, as I said earlier, I was done. I did not want to go back. I was desperate not to go back into that world. But the situation just got worse and worse and worse, and I felt I was sitting on the sidelines, across the border on the safe side, watching it, feeling that I understood what was happening. And then I thought, in a fictional way, not to be grandiose about this, I could explain to American and European readers what was going on down there. So I felt I should. And then all of a sudden, one morning, just find myself typing, without any real clear intent to sit down and write a book. I just started in, and that became a book called The Cartel. And I felt similarly about this book, that I thought, you know what, we can talk about the heroin epidemic, but maybe I can show someone it from the inside. Talk about immigration. Well, let's take that trip with this little boy, who you meet in a garbage dump, who finds a half a McDonald's in a garbage dump and wants to eat it so badly because he's hungry, but saves it to resell to somebody to help pay the rent on the hut that they live in. I think if people in the United States knew that kind of story, they might view these people differently.
I would hope. But the cynic in me says that the pain of the United States, the pain that for which we desire a release, is so often the pain of feeling as if you only have what you have because you took it, and if you give anything anybody else, it could be taken from you.
Yeah, it's a zero-sum game.
It's a zero-sum game, and often I think we are reaching this point, and it has a lot to do with the president's rhetoric. I think he pushes this even more so. He brings out the worst in people, is the idea if you help that child who's hunting for the McDonald's burger to sell, you, in turn, at some point, will be hunting for a McDonald's burger to sell.
When, of course, the opposite is true.
Of course, yeah.
When, of course, the opposite is true. My wife and I drive cross-country every year, have for the last 11 years. And we take different routes and different roads. And I have been through ghost towns in rural America. There's a post office, some boarded-up buildings, a couple of houses. The problem in much of America is not overpopulation, it's underpopulation. We could use those people. We used to think big in this country.
Oh, yeah, we don't, yeah.
We don't now. We talk big. We used to think big, and we used to say to people, come on in. We used to say, come on in, we will give you land, and if you stay there for 5 years and improve it, it's yours.